All right, Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites. And we out here to spread nationality, truth, prophecy, according to the Bible. We're not a church group. We're not a denomination. We're just out here bringing the truth according to the scriptures. Give me our Wisdom of Solomon 5:1 and whatever scripture you feel like bringing out. So it's important to know history. The vast majority of our people, they don't know history, right? They think slavery is just a thing that happened, you know, one people enslaved another, and, you know, one took advantage of another, sold them, you know, killed them, and did whatever they did, and that's it. But no, this slavery is actually documented in history, and it's also documented in the Bible. But a lot of people don't know that. Because you go to church and you're learning what you're teaching, you're being taught what? Religion. You're being taught man's philosophies, right? Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 1. You got Wisdom of Solomon? All right, give me 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Read that out.
This is Job chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Right, you got to prepare yourself for the search of your fathers, because without knowing who your fathers are, you're not going to know who you are. And if you look at the plight of the so-called black and Hispanic man, right? Seminole Native American Indians, we don't even know who our real fathers are, our actual fathers are. Let alone our true fathers of antiquity, of history, of ancient times. So that's also why it's important that you go back in time and find out your history, right? Could read a little bit more on that in Job 8 and 8.
Job chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday,
right,
and know nothing,
right,
because our days upon the earth are a shadow.
Right. We are but of yesterday. A lot of us, ain't no 100-year-old people walking around. That's a rarity, right? You got us up here in our 30s and 20s, and you got a teenager up here. We're but of yesterday. So if you're but of yesterday, that means you now got to learn. You really don't know anything. That's why you got to have elders around you. You got to have people that are teaching you. And that's a lot of the reason why you go to school. You go to church to learn, right? So you can be taught. But a lot of our people, you're not taught the truth. You're taught man's philosophies. And on top of that, you're taught all these other traditions and values that have nothing to do with your people. For example, in a couple weeks, our people are going to celebrate genocide. That's what Thanksgiving is, genocide. It's a celebration of a peoples who were just trying to, you know, live. And then the European came and started killing them and extorting them for their resources. These are historical facts. But you go to these white institutes, their education, to educate means to train an animal. That's the etymology of the word educate. It means to train an animal. You go to school and you're being trained the ways and the thought of white people.
That's right.
And we're not making it about race, we're making it about facts. We're taught by our oppressors. So in so-called 2020, when you're celebrating what the oppressor tells you to celebrate, you're calling yourselves by the name of what the oppressor told you. You're doing the things that the oppressor told you to do. You're uneducated. Or at least you're uneducated according to the scriptures, according to your true history. Because Africa is a vast continent. There's more than just one country on Africa. There's a whole crap load of different languages and cultures on Africa. So when you say you're African, that's very vague. What part of Africa? Right. And people that call themselves Africans, they can't even tie themselves to a specific tribe, right, or culture in Africa. You just make a broad statement. Oh, I'm African American. Right. How so? What part? Even here in Americas, the Native Americans, they had different tribes. You had the Choctaw, you had the Cherokee. You had this, you had that. There were many different tribes. So they even trace back to their specific, you know what I'm saying, culture. But so-called black and Latino people, we're the only people that seem to walk around just blindly. So that's why the brother read in Job 8 and 8, you got to inquire of the former age. There's a lot of misconceptions out there. The Israelites, all we want to do is yell and scream at the white man, yell at our people, cuss women out. That's a lie. A big part of what we teach is your identity. Your identity can be found in the scriptures. If you get the sensationalism of religion and all the garbage you've been taught, here we go. You'd actually learn who you actually are. He shows up with a big ass smile too.
Right on time.
Right on time. Yeah, he's early today. So you see, if this and this goes to show our people, man. This brother here, he comes back every Saturday, but he's too old to learn anything. He thinks he know it all.
Right.
Yeah. You can't put new wine in old bottles, man.
Right.
But that's the reason we're out here. And especially in these times, whether you know it or not, we are living in the last days. So it's important that we get it together now, man. And us being sold as chattel slaves on auction blocks, being valued, being being bought and traded and sold, all of that's found in the Bible.
That's right.
God, so like the brothers bring it out, you got to inquire of the former age, the age that was before you, because there's nothing new under the sun. Everything is but a shadow, right? So you should be able to ask your fathers what happened to your people in the past, or who you are, who's your nationality. Like the brother said, sometimes you just can't put new wine in old bottles because they're so influenced by the white man's education system, right?
Not the water. Let's read that.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1.
Bring it out.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Right, so this is talking about the righteous man in these last days. What would the righteous man be doing? Read that again.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Right. So that's what would be happening in the last days. The righteous would be standing bold against those that afflicted him.
That's right.
Who are the people that afflicted the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Seminole, Native American Indians?
Come on.
The so-called white man.
Right.
Because when you read the scriptures, you're going to realize that your enemy is the one that brought you half across the globe.
Right.
Selling you, auctioning you off. That's not your friend. That's your enemy. In 2020, we need to remind our people of that every second you get. Because our people have seemed to forgot who their enemy is.
Right.
You call yourself voting against one enemy but for another enemy. You call yourself still upholding a place that oppresses you every single day. So we're out here to tell our people, you gotta recognize who you are and who you're dealing with, man. You're dealing with your enemy here in America.
Right.
And they're showing you over and over. They're not even concealing it. So read that again, huh?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him,
Right.
and made no account of his labors.
And did what?
And made no account of his labors.
Right, you don't get no account for your labor. Who built up this damn place? This place was built off the backs of slaves. What representation do black people have in G20 summits? Or when the president is going and having discussions with different nations, traveling around, being diplomatic? Who's representing the so-called black man? You don't have any representation. All the people that are so-called leaders of our nation, they don't do it. They're not representing you in a righteous fashion. It's all about money. That's why a lot of these pastors, these so-called black pastors in these churches, they're all about money, the almighty dollar. They're all about getting the latest and greatest jet so that they can fly all over the country and make more money. That's what it's about. You got Jesse Jackass. He only pops up if it's enough cameras around.
Right.
Al Sharptongue, Oprah Sinfree, Gay-Z, Beyonce. All the so-called black people that we look up to, they don't care about you. They care about money. They care about fitting in. LeBron James, all these black figures, they don't stand for righteousness. They want to hold hand in hand with the enemy. So who the hell is going to stand up for righteousness' sake? We don't care about money. We don't care about fame. We're going to get that on the other side. But your money and your notoriety is not going to save you when those spaceships come. Because yes, there's going to be spaceships coming into the planet, into the stratosphere. And it's not going to be little purple guys with laser shooters. It's going to be the Hamashiach Yahushua and his angels.
That's right.
The heavenly fathers that are coming to wreak havoc on the wicked on this planet. Because as you can see, the planet is mourning right now. Even all the creation is upset by what's going on. And we're going to touch on that today. We're going to show you the parts of the Bible that your pastor doesn't show you because he's afraid. You're going to leave the church if you start teaching you the truth. Continue on.
Verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
So when they see righteous men standing on their feet, what are they going to do?
They shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Right, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. The white man is not like black men standing up on their feet and speaking boldly. Not with their pants sagging, not having tattoos all over your body, not having dirty dreadlocks, tight jeans, acting like gangsters and thugs. They hate to see what you see right here. They don't like seeing black men with the Bible or what you would call Black Panthers or Black Movement or whatever you care to call us. They don't like seeing that. They start getting scared. Because imagine if all you so-called blacks and Hispanics rise on your feet for the sake of righteousness, start coming together. Start keeping your money inside of your neighborhoods. Stop trying to be friendly with all these other nations that have been robbing you, extorting you. The Chinese man come our neighborhoods, you buy his dirty ass food that he don't even eat. You're getting sick and he's getting rich. How about the Arabs? How about the Africans? The Africans know that the black men over here, they're not the same people.
That's right.
The Africans, they rob your ass, get your money, they go back to wherever they at.
Bring it out.
Eating doodle balls and whatever else they eat. Having their damn house smell like damn blood. That's how you know we're not the same people. We're not Africans, by the way.
That's right.
We might have came from the continent of Africa, but we're not Africans. We can explain that through history. Not every dark-skinned individual is the same nationality.
Bring it out.
You have many different white peoples on the earth, but they're not all the same by worldly standards. Italians don't call themselves Irish.
Right.
The Irish don't call themselves Polish. The Scottish don't call themselves French. So people will understand that concept, but for some reason, when it comes to dark-skinned people, we just get thrown in one pile. You got dark-skinned people all over the globe, man. It don't make them the same people. Right. Because when you read the scriptures, you realize that the Most High had different nations on the planet, and he spread them across the face of the earth. But you so-called blacks and Hispanics, you come out of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was turned to Israel. Yasha Allah, Prince of Power. Because we are princes of power. That's why you need 5 cavemen to stop Joe Quan from hopping fences after he committed an armed robbery. That's why when middle-aged white men are dying, you know whose organs they want? They want a nice black man's organs.
That's right.
We're built superior. Look at Becky. They're so busy getting surgical enhancements, trying to look like our women. But they surpassing that. They look nasty, walking around with bubble lips. Look like you got a bag of sand in their behinds, tanning their skin, trying to look like the people that they so-called hate. So we up here, we stand for our people.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. You stand up for your people, and we stand up for ours. But that's not our people, man. You want to hold hands with everybody else. You want to be equal with someone that's not even equal to you. Because we're above all the other nations on the planet, man. You're better than the so-called white man. You're better than the so-called Chinese man. You're better than the Arab. They tell their kids that they're better than us. So the hell with you. we gonna tell our kids that we are better. We are better any damn way. We could be in the sun. We could be outside in the heavenly sun all day, all night. Some people on the planet, they need protection before they come outside. I never put SPF nothing on my flesh before, man.
Right.
So that in itself makes us superior. Read on.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 2.
Bring it out.
When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Right.
So far beyond all that they looked for.
Right, because when you read on, right, you're going to realize that the strangeness of the righteous salvation is going to be terrifying to everybody else. Because you see a lot of these movies, what happens? You see people getting, they call it being abducted.
Right.
But no, that's how we're going to be. That's how we're going to be extracted up out of here. Give me that in Amos chapter 9 and 9. The Most High is going to sift us up out of here. We're not going to be traveling in boat, airplane. We're going to be on a spacecraft. And when you read in the scriptures, those so-called UFOs are actually the angels of the Lord. Give me that Zechariah, you know what I want. Zechariah chapter 5, I believe it is. The flying roll. Yeah, let me get that real quick. And also the one in Matthew's, where he comes back with the angels. Let's start with this. Which one is this? Right. So what we're about to read in the scriptures is how we're going to get up out of here. Read.
It's the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 9.
Right.
For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations.
So the Most High is going to do what?
Sift the house of Israel among all nations.
So the Most High is going to sift us out from among all nations. Guess what? When you read in the scriptures, Israel was spread amongst the four corners of the earth.
That's right.
And it was for our transgressions. So he's going to sift us out. How's he going to do that? By the heavenly angels. We're going to bring that out. Read.
Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
Right. So when the Most High is sifting his nation out, nobody's going to be left behind.
That's
Hell,
right.
you may have people that look like white people getting sifted up, but they're actually Israelites.
Right.
So we're not so much caught up on color as we are nationality. And you're going to realize in the last day that all you've been setting up on this planet to hold on to and that you believe in, the Most High is going to come and interrupt your program. The Lord's not coming back to have fun with you,
That's right.
to shake your hand. The Most High is not coming back to play games, man. Huh? Yeah. See all the flags, right?
Amos chapter 9, verse 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
Wait a minute, what?
All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
Right. All the sinners of the Most High people are going to die by the sword. And you couple that scripture in Matthew 10, verse 34. The Most High said, come back not to send peace, but a sword. So when the Hamashiach YHWH, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, comes back, he's going to be wielding swords. It's not going to be like the humble lamb he came the first time. Which also would show you got to be on your P's and Q's. A lot of our people think it's fun and games in these last days. The Heavenly Father is showing you all these signs. But our people won't pay attention. You're too busy watching TV. You're waiting for your next stimulus check. That's what our people are doing. You waiting to, you hoping and believing in the next oppressor, aka Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who's a damn sellout.
That's right.
I don't care if she's an Indian or our people, she's a sellout. Her policies do not stand for our people. And when she was Attorney General over in California, you see what happened with what's the dude's name in the station? In Fruitful Station. It took a hella long to prosecute the officers that did that. Because their policy is all about locking people up anyways. Well, locking Negroes up. And coming for your firearms. But you got idiots celebrating, hey, Biden, we won, it's blue. You don't know what you're celebrating. He's a damn New World Order general. This damn Joe Biden. Right, man. Read on.
All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword,
Right.
which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
Right. Read on.
In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen,
Right.
and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
Right, and that's showing you that the kingdom of David is going to be built again. The way you Negroes are going, you want to go the opposite way. You don't want to go back to the kingdom. You don't want to go back to your true home. You want to build up America. You damn near want to make America great again. By holding hands with the enemy, by getting more inflated dollars. Our people are going to be lining up for them damn vaccines too. Whatever the white man says, you're going to go along with. Your vaccines, you're going to get the microchip in your arm. Everything that master says to do, you're going to do. But when the Lord's building up the second reign of the King David, a lot of people ain't going to be there because you might not make it. Is that it on that? Read what you got, huh? Yeah, bring that out.
Matthew chapter 25, verse 31.
Right?
When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another.
No, everybody's going to be together.
And he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
Right?
And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world.
Right. So the Most High is going to be separated, and then he's going to choose who's going to be on his right and his left. So that in itself, you don't learn in church. You learn that everybody's going to come together. All you got to do is sing a song, show up in church. You can eat pork, you can eat whatever you want, and you're saved because the law is done away with. Never mind that Christ himself was referring to the law and upheld the law, kept the Passover. You even got reference to the Feast of Dedication, all in the New Testament.
Right.
But you say the law is done away with. So now you can be a homosexual. You can do whatever you want, and you're going to make it in the kingdom. That's what you learn in the church. That's why the Lord got to destroy these churches. What's the next scripture? Come on, bring that out. So now we're going to talk a little bit about those so-called UFOs, because those are contained in the Bible. The scriptures tell you the Heavenly Father travels on a cloud. So when you watch on YouTube with these so-called UFOs in the skies, what are they usually on? Clouds. Like balls of energy. Because that's how the heavenly powers, they travel. Read on.
This is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a flying roll.
A what?
A flying roll.
A flying roll. This is Ezekiel describing what he saw in the heavens. A flying roll. Now, whenever you see a so-called UFO, what does it look like? Something rolling in a ball. Usually has lights. It looks like a cloud. Those are the heavenly angels, man. Read on.
And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll.
Right.
The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits.
So giving you the measurements of what he was seeing. Read.
Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth.
Right.
For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it.
Right.
And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it.
Right. So it's showing you that's a curse going up there. Because remember, you go back to the time of the Passover. What was it that was gonna kill you if you didn't have that blood over your doorpost? The death angel. The Most High has death angels, he has left angels,